e a gente vai poder hoje também ter uma excelente experiência de conhecer um país que nós, com certeza, não temos tanta exposição. Acho que é algo, uma cultura bem distante, então vai ser muito legal. A gente pode ver uns sotaques diferentes para novos contextos. Então, espero que vocês já tenham preparado questões, e, claro, novas perguntas vão vir durante a chamada, mas vamos lá. Well, firstly, I would like to invite our guest to present himself and tell a little bit more about him. If we could share like some aspects, what does he do, where he is now, what does he study, what are his main hobbies? So just feel free.
Hi, my name is KV. I'm from Malaysia and I'm a student at Minerva University. I'm majoring in social science and business, and I really like to swim, to cook, to shop, and to watch TV. Um, do you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, I think overall that's just it. Would you like to mention like where you live, what have you visited? I don't know anything like that. Just like random facts about you, anything curious.
Oh yeah, sure. So I'm currently living in London. I lived in Buenos Aires, in Taipei, in Hyderabad, in San Francisco, Seoul, and most of my life I spent in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. And other than that, some fun facts about me. Um, I guess when I was 19, I sued the Malaysian government. Um, and besides that, I think I also am currently teaching first graders in the US, teaching them math.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I could get like everything you have said. Like, what have you done when you were 19?
Oh, when I was 19, I filed a lawsuit against the Malaysian government. Um, yeah,
Oh, I would have lost it. So,
sorry.
oh, interesting. I think I never heard about this word before. Like, file a lawsuit. Like, could you like describe a little bit of what it was that like?
Oh, it's like bringing someone to court. And
Oh,
yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Ok. Não, não, makes sense. Great. Bom, então, o Carvin é o nosso convidado do dia. Ele é nascido na Malásia e hoje em dia ele também estuda na Universidade de Minerva, assim como outros convidados que nós já trouxemos aqui durante as outras semanas. Ele estuda ciências sociais e negócios e administração, né, business. E os seus principais hobbies, ele gosta muito de cozinhar e de nadar. Ele já morou em lugares como São Francisco, Buenos Aires, Taiwan, Taipei, e quando ele tinha 19 anos, um fato curioso foi a primeira vez que ele processou uma pessoa. Ok, great. Well, so I think that was a good beginning, so we can learn a little bit more about you. But firstly, I would like to learn a little bit more about your culture by yourself. Like, what can you tell about Malaysia for someone that like have different perspectives and don't know anything about Malaysia before? Like, describe a little bit about your culture specifically.
Yeah, sure. So Malaysia is very much similar to the US in the sense that I think also similar to Brazil. When you imagine a Malaysian, you can't really picture how a Malaysian look like because we don't look the same. All of us are very different. The main ethnic groups in Malaysia are Malay, Chinese, and Indian, and also many indigenous groups, Eurasians. Similar to Brazil, we were first colonized by the Portuguese, but they did not last that long, so we don't speak Portuguese. But there are actually native Portuguese people in Malaysia as well. Besides that, I think Malaysia is also similar to Brazil. We are in the equator. It's very hot, tropical weather all year round, with a lot of rain. And in terms of culture, yeah, I think its main point would be diversity, and we are very proud of our food. I'm not sure if you ever had the chance to try Malaysian food, but if you like spicy food, then you would really like Malaysian food. It's very spicy and very flavorful. Yeah.
Great. Well, Okay, so Karen, I just want to check out, like, your name is Karen. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, but everyone calls me KV.
KB, ok,
Yeah.
KB. Bom, então o Keith acabou de compartilhar um pouco mais sobre a Malásia em si. Eu pedi para ele compartilhar um pouco mais sobre a cultura, tipo, uma pessoa que nunca ouviu falar sobre a Malásia antes. E ele falou que talvez a Malásia não tenha tanta diferença assim do contexto tanto dos Estados Unidos quanto do Brasil. Ele acha que as culturas não são tão distintas. E eu acredito que eu, com talvez apenas um estereótipo na cabeça, mesmo com conceito anterior, acredito que possam ser realmente culturas muito diferentes, mas quem sabe a gente pode descobrir um pouco mais sobre isso durante a chamada. E principalmente a população na Malásia é povoada ali por indianos e por chineses, então ali eles têm uma boa porcentagem de pessoas que moram por lá, que são desses dois países, e tem alguns nativos, né, algumas pessoas que falam português na Malásia, só que é um número totalmente limitado. E talvez em algum contexto era para eles falarem português, a gente já também, mas Portugal não conseguiu totalmente ele colonizar e manter suas forças até hoje. O país é bem quente, então ele está ali bem próximo da linha do Equador, então acho que não há uma temperatura tão distante do que às vezes a gente pode encontrar por aqui. Bem, então acho que esse já foi um principal contexto sobre a Malásia. Eu também gostaria de convidar vocês a levantarem as mãos, caso vocês já gostariam de fazer alguma pergunta. Fiquem à vontade para engajar. E pessoas que nunca perguntaram também, aqui é um excelente momento para estar falando inglês, para estar arriscando e, tipo, aproveita essa oportunidade para tentar pela primeira vez falar com um nativo de um país diferente. Acho que isso é muito proveitoso, então não tenha medo de levantar suas mãos e começar a interagir. Tudo bem? Vocês podem perguntar sobre a cultura, sobre o país, sobre a comida, sobre diversos aspectos. Mas agora eu gostaria de fazer mais uma pergunta. So, why exactly have you decided that you wanted to live abroad and more specifically study at Minerva? It's a question that you're going to hear a lot now. These days, every time I get a Minerva student.
Yeah, sure. So I have two older siblings. I have one brother and one sister. My brother went to study in the UK on a government scholarship, and so I saw how he studied, and there's a lot of exams, and I just didn't like that. My sister was in the first class of Minerva, and so I was always interested in Minerva, and I heard a lot about it from her. And why I wanted to study abroad was mainly because I think Malaysia's education system is not really well developed. And yeah, I think recently a poll came out and said like the most number of retracted papers in academia come from Malaysia. So that doesn't say very good things about our education system. So other than that, I just really like to travel. I've always liked to travel as much as I can. And I really wanted to experience living independently without my family, even though I miss them very much. But yeah, that's why I came to Minerva. That's why I chose to study abroad.
Okay, great. Bom, então basicamente perguntei para ele por que que ele escolheu estudar em Minerva, porque realmente eu acredito que é uma universidade muito peculiar em alguns aspectos, principalmente se você decide estudar em uma universidade que leva você a diversos países. E basicamente ele mencionou que a irmã dele participou da primeira turma de quando a Minerva foi fundada. A Minerva é uma universidade que não é tão velha, é uma universidade meio recente. E ele via ali o que a irmã dele fazia e tudo mais, ele se sentiu influenciado, ele também decidiu aplicar, e ele passou. E um outro fator que instigou ele a sair da Malásia para estudar fora é por conta do sistema educacional do seu país em si, que algumas porcentagens e alguns estudos já dizem que é realmente uma questão dificultosa de conseguir ter uma boa educação por lá. E, além disso, ele também sempre sonhou estar ali fora do país, conhecer novas culturas, estar viajando. E claro que ele também sente muitas saudades dos pais dele, dos parentes dele, enquanto ele está por fora. Okay, great. Well, so now I think I would like to get one more question. And maybe I can introduce a question of if you know any other languages and which languages you speak if you know any other.
I think most Malaysians are multilingual, so it's normal for Malaysians to know at least 3 or 4 languages. I speak 4 languages. I speak English, Malay, Mandarin, and Cantonese. And I picked up a little bit, very little Spanish when I was in Buenos Aires, and I'm still hoping to learn more Spanish. So yeah, that's the 5 languages. 4 languages I know and a little bit of Spanish.
Okay, so these, I think other two languages I had say like Asian or something related languages, like more specific. Could you drop these names here in the chat so we can like search a little bit more and learn about these languages? I think that would be cool. So it's English, these two languages, yeah, Malay, Mandarin, Mandarin, that's fine, it is. Okay, and Cantonese, great. Wow, kind of well-rounded. If you're learning Spanish now, I think you can like deal pretty much well with anywhere you go now, even though all of these languages. Congrats.
Yeah, that's the
Bom,
goal.
bom, então eu perguntei para ele quais são os idiomas que ele fala no momento, e ele falou que ele fala o inglês, a Malay, que acredito que deve ser a língua da Malásia, mandarim e cantonês. E ele também está aprendendo um pouco de espanhol no momento. Great. Okay, so I think now we have a great opportunity to call on people to make questions directly for our guests. And first, I have Kling. Kling, fique à vontade para fazer perguntas. Kling, if you're talking.
Okay. Uh, Ken, what course did your sister take at Minerva?
Oh, what courses she took at Minerva?
Uh,
She majored in business, specifically brand management and marketing.
and you, what course?
I'm majoring in political science and economics and minoring in business.
Okay. When does it end?
Sorry, could you repeat?
When does your course end?
Oh, when my course ends, in May of 2025. So in about 1 year.
Okay, thank. I ask this because my daughter is studying in Minerva too.
Oh, is it Nicole?
Ah, yes, Nicole. You know him? You know her?
Yeah, yeah. I saw your
Yeah.
last name and I thought, oh, maybe that's Nicole's dad. Yeah, I know her.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, am I like, is my internet connection stable? Maybe I'm kind of frozen now. Freezing. Yeah, okay. This is a curious fact. Like, I sit in here and confident has a daughter that's going to Minerva, and our guest know who that is. That's interesting. Well, so actually, I have a question of what you have answered now because you said that you're minoring in business, and like most schools abroad does not offer a minor in business. Like business is usually a major. Like, does Minerva offers like business as a minor?
Yeah, you can minor in any of the courses in Minerva. It just means that you take about less courses than a major. It's only like if you take a major, you take 6 courses. If you take a minor, you take, in the business case, you take 5 courses or 4 courses. So slightly less.
Ah, got it. Yeah, some schools like they do not let you minor in business, and that's sad. Because I want to exactly do the same 3 majors you're doing. I want to do econ, political science, and business, and like I'm struggling because I want to do econ as a major and minor, and business as a minor, but I can do business as a minor. That's true. Okay. Next. Thank you, Clink. Do you have anything else to add? No. Okay. Vera, fique à vontade.
Hello, everyone. It's still about language. I read that in Malaysia there are nowadays 134 living languages. How the Malaysians understand each other with so many languages?
That's a good question. I think similar to many countries, there's a national language. Our national language is Malay. And most people also speak English because we were colonized by the British for the longest time. So I think mostly in cities, in like Kuala Lumpur, people speak English a lot. In rural areas, most people speak Malay. But I think the reason why there are 130 languages, we have a lot of indigenous people, especially in the east of Malaysia. So something fun, like fun fact about Malaysia is we have West Malaysia and we have East Malaysia that is completely disconnected. We have the South China Sea in between. And East Malaysia, basically, these two states operate as their own separate country, kind of. So I'm from West Malaysia. When I want to fly to East Malaysia, I need a passport, and I go through immigration, and I cannot stay for more than like certain number of days. And in East Malaysia, another thing is their official language is English because they were colonized by British longer than West Malaysia.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's actually something I never heard before. Like how you gotta do a passport or something like that to transition it through this region. Is like, oh my god. Oh, sorry, Erica. Hope to see you in the next sessions. Ok. Então, apenas traduzindo, um fato curioso que nós acabamos de descobrir é que para que você possa transitar entre os lados da Malásia, entre o oeste e o leste, você precisa de um passaporte, de uma autorização e passar por uma imigração para que você possa atravessar o outro lado do país. Eu achei isso muito curioso. Então, vamos partir agora para o próximo helicóptero, fique à vontade.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Hamilton. I live in Manaus, Brazil. Manaus is also a city near the Equator, which makes it a hot city too, like Malaysia, like Kuala Lumpur. So, uh, why did you study English and what contributed most to you achieve fluency in language?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, English is my native language. I speak English with my parents at home. Because in Malaysia, my parents are men. They're both Chinese, but my dad speaks Cantonese and my mom speaks Mandarin. And my mom also speaks Cantonese, but they wanted us to grow up speaking English growing up. So we went to English school. And in Malaysia, everyone learns English from the moment you're in kindergarten up till you graduate high school. So I guess that's why. And most of my friends, we also speak English, even though it's in a different accent. Obviously, right now I'm trying to put on a more American accent. Malaysians speak English in a different way. I feel like people in every country have their own way of speaking English.
Yeah, amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ok. Thank you. Bom, então, a maneira que eu quero aprender inglês é que, basicamente, a Malásia já tem inglês como um idioma nativo, de certa forma, então, ele já esteve ali num ambiente que todo mundo fala inglês, basicamente. Acho que tem algumas variações de idiomas, e tem, claro, vários sotaques também. Mas, por exemplo, no prezinho, na escola mesmo, eles já começaram a aprender inglês, então, já é algo que é comum por lá. E na casa dele, com os pais, ele já se comunica em inglês, então... Enfim, é um idioma nativo. Perfect. Thank you so much, Helicóptero. Next, we have Alexandre Silva. Fica à vontade.
Hi, good night. Nice to meet you, Ken. Okay. I would like to know about the religion in Malaysia. I think it's Islam music. People that practice this kind of religion. And if there is a problem between Singapore and Malaysian people, I don't know if it's true. It's true.
Yeah, there's two really good questions. The first about religion, I can answer that first. In Malaysia, we are approximate majority is the national religion is Islam. It came to Malaysia in the 1700s, a long time ago, and majority of the Malay population, they're also Muslim, or they practice Islam. And by law, if you're Malay, you have to be practicing Islam. Whereas the other races, like the Indians and the Chinese and the indigenous, it's split between like Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Taoists, and all other kind of religions. But yeah, that's about religion. And the question about Singapore and Malaysia is a very good one. We have like kind of beef with Singapore in a sense. Like we don't like Singaporeans because they think that they're better than us. The history behind that is that Singapore used to be part of Malaysia. In the when Malaysia was formed, it was Malaya, which is where I'm from, Singapore, Sabah, and Sarawak, which are the two states in East Malaysia. But sometime a few years later, Singapore had kind of conflict with the national government. And it's also linked to race and religion because Singapore is a majority Chinese state. There are a lot of Chinese people in Singapore, and they wanted a very secular state. And then in Malaysia, they wanted it to be more. They wanted special rights for special privileges for Malay people, and they wanted Islam to be the national religion. So until this day, we still don't know if Singapore left or we kicked them out. They say they got independence, but according to the history, we kicked them out of the country, which was a very bad decision because now they are so much richer than us. The exchange rate is almost 3 to 1. And a fun fact would be actually the Singapore to Malaysia border crossing, the bridge, is the busiest in the whole world. Like thousands of people cross the bridges every day, mostly Malaysians that work in Singapore because the pay is just so much better. Then they come back home to Malaysia. They go in the morning, they come back home to Malaysia in the evening. Yeah, thank you for the question.
Yeah, very interesting because I like to study some question around the conflict around the world, and I read something about Singapore and Malaysia. So thank you for your answer.
But we actually love each other. When we're overseas, most Malaysians and Singaporeans are friends because our culture is very similar. The way we speak is very similar. Whenever I'm like one time I was in San Francisco, I was in a pharmacy and I heard these Singaporeans and I just was like, "Hey, are you Singaporean?" And we became friends. But the joke is that only Malaysians are allowed to insult Singaporeans. No other people are allowed to make fun of Singaporeans except for us.
Okay, like Brazil, Argentina.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, definitely. Well, so we also here at these sessions we got someone from Singapore. I think it's Pei, and she also studies in Nerva. Do you know her?
Yeah, I know Pei. I know Pei. She's really nice.
Ok, cool. Well, ok. Próximo que está com uma levantada, Durval, fique à vontade.
Good evening, everyone. Casey, nice to meet you. My name is Durval. I live in Sorocaba City, São Paulo State, and I believe in your country have a delicious food. Tell me about the first meals. Tell me about the food in your culture because you like to cook. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I think because Malaysia is so diverse, we have so much different kind of food. So I can go through one of them, like a few of the most popular. From Malay cuisine, like one of the most popular food is like nyonya chicken curry. Um, that is from a state called Malacca. It used to be a very busy international port, and that's where the Portuguese came. And that's why a lot of the words in Malay are actually similar in Portuguese as well. Like the word for flag is Malay, it's bandera, and I think in Portuguese is something similar. Um, and other than that, we have a lot of in terms of Indian food, a lot of us eat that for breakfast. If you heard of roti or paratha or tandoori chicken, we have a lot of that as well. And Chinese food, what we're famous for is our hawker food, which is like food you eat at the roadside, and they're cooking, and there's very big flames, so a lot of noodles. Yeah, I think one of my favorite food has to be like char kway teow. It's like rice noodles, and you fry it in a wok, and it's very flavorful. I will add it in the chat as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. If you could just drop the name of the main dishes you have said here in the chat, I think it's gonna be cool. So the students can like search a little bit more about that. Ok. Next, João, sério, fique à vontade.
Good night of y'all. I'd like to know about your foods in Malaysia, and I want to ask if there are many beautiful girls in Malaysia.
Oh, I guess for food, I've already covered it. So in terms of beautiful girls, I think there are beautiful girls everywhere. I think Malaysian girls are also very beautiful. Can't say much, I guess.
Nice, thank you.
Oh, a great question. Well, so I would like to open the floor for Vanessa to speak now to the questions, and after Vanessa, we're gonna make a different interaction here. Where I bring like different people to speak. But Vanessa, feel free. Vanessa, if you're speaking, you're probably with your microphone off.
Sorry, I always do that. Hi, good evening for everyone. I'm from Cotia, São Paulo, and it's Ka, but your name is Kavur? Yes? I would like to know, if you choose a must-see place in Malaysia, which one would you choose to recommend to someone who has never been there, like me?
Oh, that is a very hard question. A lot of people come to Kuala Lumpur, which is where I'm from. It's the capital, but I don't like Kuala Lumpur. I would say the best place to visit if you like food would be Penang or Malacca. Those are the food capitals of Malaysia, and I think a lot of those are also, both of these places are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. There's a lot of heritage because they were the most, that was where we got colonized the most. So a lot of nice buildings. But besides that, if you like nature, there's a lot of nice beaches where you can see turtles and a lot of marine life, and the forests and the mountains. In East Malaysia actually has the best um, nature. We have Mount Kinabalu, which is the tallest mountain in Southeast Asia, and we have a lot of beaches and forests. Yeah, and if you like animals too, there's a lot of animals in East Malaysia that are only found in East Malaysia. I don't know if you heard of orangutans. They're only
Yes,
found in East Malaysia.
yes, I heard about it. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I think it would be cool if you, as we have done with the type of foods, you could drop like the name of these places here in the chat too. Well, Samuel is with her hands raised. If you want to make a question, you can go now, and I can do my introduction later. Feel free.
So, good evening to everyone. I would like to know about two things. I have two questions. The first one is about the countries you've been. In what country you felt more comfortable to get used to people, to the local culture, you know? And about sports. Here in Brazil, our principal sport, our passion is football. And what about in Malaysia?
Right. For the first country, for the first question, which country I've been most comfortable with, surprisingly, it was Argentina. I love, I think I've never felt this warm feeling of people being so warm and friendly before, because in Malaysia, like, we are also very warm, but we are more distant. Like Argentina, people would kiss when they would kiss on the cheek. In Malaysia, we don't even shake hands because for a lot of Malaysians, they are Muslim and you're not allowed to touch a separate gender. So there was one time I was at a debate competition and I wanted to shake hands and she told me, sorry, I can't touch you. So we just like wave. So it feels very more distant culture. Um, Besides that, I think I also really like Taiwan. Taiwan is also a very nice, people there are very nice and welcoming. In terms of sports in Malaysia, the most popular I would say is actually football. We are just not good at it like Brazil. We've never made it to the World Cup. We really want to, but never before, not even the Olympics or anything. Besides that, badminton as well. Badminton is more popular among Chinese people, and football is more popular among Malay people. But badminton, we are almost the top. We just keep losing to China. But our national badminton player was #1 in the world for many years. He's very famous. His name is Lee Chong-wei. But he never won a gold medal because he always lost to China at the Olympics.
Great, thank you so much. And now following up, I would like to share my screen so you guys can see some of the questions that I have prepared here. And unfortunately, some of the questions that I have prepared, you guys have already asked. So let's go. I have 2 questions here that I'm gonna share, and I would like to call on someone who have not got the chance to make a question here today, to make this question. So as I have a question here, it's a question. What have you heard about Brazil before? And all you gotta do is someone here who would like to practice their speaking skills and try to make this question for Kev. Então, aqui eu tenho uma pergunta no slide. E eu gostaria de trazer alguma pessoa que não teve a oportunidade de falar ainda, ou que não tem tanta segurança, de tentar aqui fazer essa primeira interação, de tentar falar inglês e perguntar algo para o nativo. Alguém quer tomar essa coragem? Alguém que não falou aqui ainda hoje? É um desafio para aproveitar, para colocar o speaking em prática. Vamos lá, pessoal, uma pessoa apenas. Vou levantar a mão. Ou pode abrir o microfone também. Vamos lá, pessoal, por favor. Elaine, gostaria de fazer pergunta?
Hello, everyone. I'm here. I entrance in this meeting late because I was in appointment, but I will speak. I will ask this question. What have you heard about Brazil before? Ken?
Thank you. I guess before Minerva, all I knew about Brazil was Carnaval from that movie, Rio, the cartoon, and a Brazilian steak. I don't know if that's what you call it, the one where you slice the meat off from the steak, because they have some of those restaurants in Malaysia. But after coming to Minerva, I know about Brigadeiro. I love Brigadeiro. And I don't know. Am I saying it right? Yeah, I am. Yeah. And on the way to Argentina, I stopped in Sao Paulo. I also had the chance to visit Brazil for like 6 hours when I was in Iguazu. But it was only a few hours. But still, I really love Brazil. I don't know much about Brazil. I haven't had the chance to go there for longer, and I really hope to go there one day.
Thank you so much
Wow.
for your answer. And I visited Argentina too. I agree with you. The people are very kind with us. And come on, in Brazil, you enjoy a lot here. We wait for you someday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine, for accepting this challenge. Now, I would like to call on someone else to make this question. I think Kling has already asked a question today, but if you would like to take this one, that's fine.
Yes, I have another question to T. What you like to work on when you finish your course? Any country in particular?
or where I would like to work.
Yes. What would you like to work on when you finish your course?
Oh, like what I want to do. Probably teaching. Even though I'm majoring in political science and economics, I really enjoy teaching. So I hope to be able to teach in the US or somewhere, because I really like interacting with children and I really like the whole working in a school.
Okay. Any country in particular or Malaysia?
I'm trying not to go back to Malaysia. I love Malaysia, but Malaysia doesn't, like, there's problems. Like money is not good, culture is very conservative. I think Brazil is very more progressive. I think Latin America is more progressive in terms of social rights, but Malaysia is still very behind. So I'm hoping to work in the US, maybe Taiwan, maybe Latin America, but I need to learn Spanish, which I have not done.
Good. When possible, come to Brazil and enjoy our food like feijoada. Come to Brazil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, anyone would like to volunteer for this question? Okay. Since no one has volunteered, maybe I can do it by myself. And maybe could you share a little bit more about what's your favorite type of music?
Yeah, my music is very much pop music, very basic. My favorite
Basic.
artists are Taylor Swift, yeah, most basic. Um, who else? Troye Sivan, Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah, very basic artists. I was very happy I got the chance to see Taylor Swift in Argentina. I think she came to Brazil as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah,
You went to the Aerosaur?
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so pretty much like mainstream artists.
Very mainstream, I admit it.
Yeah. Okay. Vanessa? Vanessa, acho que você está com o microfone fechado novamente.
Okay, I'm sorry again. I heard you speak four language and you are learning Spanish, and I'm curious to know how many countries have you been to? Because you are so young.
That's a good question. I haven't really counted, so I would take some time to count. But so far, I've lived in 6 countries. I visited maybe a rough estimate, maybe like 15 to 20. It also depends like how you define. Like sometimes I stop in a country, like fly from one country, stop over. I don't know if that counts, but I think 15 to 20 is a good estimate.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
That counts. For me, it would count. Next, Durval, fique à vontade.
Casey, I believe you know many countries and cities. What country and city do you like more? And why?
Oh, which country and city I like the most? I think right now it's probably Buenos Aires and Taiwan, Taipei. Those are my two favorite cities and countries. Mostly because I think what makes a country really good is like the people, and like people. I think Taiwanese people, Argentinians, Brazilians, like they're all very warm and very nice. So it's very easy to make friends. Like it's been 2 months in London and I have not made a single friend because these British people are just so closed off. But I think that's why I really like South America and Taiwan a lot.
Okay, thank you so much.
Got it. Well, so I have one more question. Since you're minoring business, I would like to know what are your plans like considering your business minor? Like, why specifically have you chosen? And like, do you intend to play? Do you plan anything like with that?
Yeah, I minored in business not not really because I want to run a business. I run a nonprofit, and I think that businesses and nonprofits have a lot of similarities. Like the only difference is like you're not trying to make money, you're trying to help people. I mean, businesses do that too, but it's a different thing. But I think a lot of skills in business can be replicated and can be transferred as well. So that was the main reason I started taking business classes. And if I'm being very honest, because I cannot take computer science or science classes. I'm not smart enough for that. So I had to take business classes.
Okay, got it. Wow. So if anyone else would like to bring a question here, feel free. Or I think maybe we're getting close to the end. Maybe today we're gonna end a little bit earlier. But let's like make the most out of this opportunity to talk here. Which are the next countries that you're visiting? Like after London, we're going to.
And I'll go back to Malaysia for the summer and probably go to the US to work for the summer and go back to Malaysia. And then I'll spend my next semester in Berlin. And the semester after that, I'm still thinking whether to choose between Berlin or Buenos Aires.
Oh, so like you can choose to go back to Buenos Aires if you want.
You can request for it, but most of the times they would allow it if there is space.
Oh, got it. Yeah, as someone has said, Berlin is better. Maybe it's better for you to get to know somewhere else if you haven't been there before. So, as you have already been to Argentina, and maybe you can consider like coming to Brazil in your summer. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so. Oh, okay. Newton, gostaria de perguntar algo?
Hello, everyone. My name is Newton. I live in Santarém, Pará. Nice to meet you, cover. One curiosity. Did you learn to tango in Buenos Aires?
I wish I did, but I'm a terrible dancer. I have zero hand-eye coordination or anything. So unfortunately did not learn how to tango. I wish I did, but I am very bad at dancing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. Wow. So anyone else would like to bring in a question here before we end? Or maybe just like add a comment, congratulate, talk about anything you have learned here. Anything? Elaine?
I would like to know if when you had been in Argentina, if you try to eat a dessert that I loved is alfajor. You remember?
Yes, I did.
Loved it.
I love.
I ate a lot when I went there. I decided to eat only eat, even though have lunch.
Yeah, I love alfajores. I actually brought with me about 60 alfajores to London. And I remember we visited the alfajores shop and they said that a lot of Brazilians love alfajores. So that shop would export to Brazil sometimes when they have extra stock. But yeah, I love alfajores so much, but it's so bad for your health.
Yes, yes, I love. We needed to try to drink wine. Wine is good too, and the ice cream in Argentina is delicious.
It was so hard because my doctor told me you need to reduce your red meat consumption, like how much beef and how much pork you eat, and reduce sugar. And I told him, I'm going to Argentina. How am I going to do that? It's impossible.
I agree. The same is my problem. We need to eat healthy food, not junk food. It's not good for our health.
Yeah, it's so hard in Argentina. Thank you, Eli.
In Brazil too. In Brazil, we have a delicious desserts, and it is we only to eat on weekends, not during the week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I love brigadeiro. I need to learn how to make it.
Brigadeiro is better. Well, okay, thank you so much, Elaine. Great questions. Next, José, fique à vontade para fazer qualquer pergunta.
Nice to meet you, everyone. How are you? So, KV, could you recommend a band or musician and a writer from Malaysia?
Oh, yeah, I can. I think one of my most famous musician is Yuna. I will send in the chat as well. Yuna. Um, she's went to the US and she started producing music in America. I think she has a song with Usher too, but her music is very nice. It's mostly in English, but some in Malay as well. And then you said band, right? I think. Oh, I need to remember. One of the favorite bands. I can recommend a specific song too, which is what is that song again? Eh, oh, it's the name of the song is called Pulang by Insomniacs. And he said it was artist, band, and what's the last one?
Oh, the last question was about some writer from Malaysia that you
Writer.
recommend.
Writer. I actually don't really read a lot. But oh, there is one. I forgot. I don't know if you would find her. Actually, yeah, I can't think of that. I can recommend like a movie though. There's like one movie I watched recently that's really good, and I think it shows you a lot about Malaysia. The fun thing about this movie is was banned by the government. They censored it and they didn't allow them to show in cinemas. So the movie producers crowdfunded money and they just released it on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube for free. But yeah, this is the movie, and it really pictures
KV.
it really pictures the racial issue between Malaysians and how diverse we are. And this is a more dystopia movie. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Hello,
Okay,
KV.
thank you. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can I? Can I?
Can you guys hear me? I think my connection is kind of
Okay, thank you. I have one question. But first, I need to say that you are so nice, so kind and friendly. So I really have nice to meet you. And my question is, how do you see yourself and your life in 10 years? You'd use imagination you in future?
That's a very hard question because I have not thought about it myself. How would I see myself in 10 years? I don't even know how I would see myself in 1 or 2 years because I don't know if I will have a job. I don't know what I will do after I graduate. But in 10 years, I would be 30. Oh, that's scary. Hopefully, I would have enough money. Maybe, probably, I hope by then I would have gone back to Latin America and seen more of Latin America. And besides that, I hope just to have some sort of stability. I think because with Minerva, we're moving every 4 months. I really am looking forward to have a house and have nice decorations. As you can see, like I really like to put decorations in my house, like little lights and everything to make feel like home. But yeah, I guess I don't really know how to picture myself in 10 years. I have hopes. I hope they will come true. But yeah, thank you for the question. It's a very deep question that I have not thought about it myself.
Thank you so much. Uh, you have great ideas about your future. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you too.
Thank you, Paula. Great question. Next, Alci, fique à vontade.
Good evening, everybody. This is my first time in this community, and I hope not to bore you with some questions that probably I don't know if they are proper for this moment, but I believe so. So the guest is in Malaysia, is it right?
Oh, I'm currently in London.
So I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So as a foreigner, my question is, probably you have an idea about some cultural traits about Brazil. When you talk about London, I immediately remember about how people are punctual. This is a kind of cultural trait, in my opinion. So when we talk about Brazil, what kind of cultural trait do you come first in your mind?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. There are many Brazilians in my class in Minerva. I think the first thing I would say is they're very warm. Like every time you see a Brazilian, they're always very happy and they like hug each other. And I think my most favorite memories is whenever there's a Brazilian's birthday, the whole building will know because they will sing so loud. And that's just really heartwarming to see how much love there is. Besides that, I think Brazilians are also bad with punctuality, which I agree. Malaysians are also very bad with coming on time. But the main thing I think with that I associate with Brazilians is they're very happy, you know how to enjoy life and dance, which Malaysians don't really know how to do. So I'm trying to learn right now. But that's something I associate most with Brazilians or more broader like South Americans.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, so thank you, everyone. I think maybe we ended the session here, and I bet like it's pretty much late in London now. I think it's like midnight. Is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone who have participated. I think we're having pretty much great session regularly now for all of these weeks, and we're gonna have some more people come from different countries in the next day. So hopefully, I want to see you guys there. So try to manage your time, your schedule, so you guys can participate. And see you next sessions. Thank you so much, Kev. Saying a great emoji and congrats, man.
All right. Thank you, everyone. It was nice to meet you.
Muito obrigado, pessoal. Espero ver vocês.